Hey everyone, Elisa with Jots Designs. In this video, I wanted to make some pocket hugs and also try out the cloud effect with JDiction's epoxy resin that is a newer formula than the resin I've shown you on my channel so far. It's been quite a while since I've done this cloud technique, and I think this resin will be perfect for it. You can get it in a kit, and it comes with some stir sticks, silicone cups, silicone mat, and I'll be using Jacquard Pinata alcohol inks. I've got golden yellow, calabaza orange, sapphire blue, and lime green, and blue violet and coral. For the white, I will be using Pinata's Blanco Blanco. There are other whites out there that they call sinker whites, but I've never tried them, just really because I find the Pinata works just fine, and I have some. Definitely make sure you shake the white, though, before you start and often throughout your project. I mixed up the resin off camera, and I'm setting about an ounce aside for the white. Then I'll fill the heart cavities most of the way, but not completely full. I don't want them to just overfill when I add the white later. I add in 50 drops of the white and get that mixed in thoroughly. Some people will mix in a little less or a little more of the white, but I find that I personally just prefer about 50 drops per ounce. I switched cups because the larger one would just break if I tried squeezing it a bit to control the pour. I added the remainder of the clear resin I had, but really I should have just used it for something else instead of filling this tiny cup all the way up. You live and learn, right? Then I just started dropping in the colors. I did one heart of each of the pairings I showed earlier, then just had fun with the rest of them. Some I did more than one drop of color, and others I stuck with just one. It's really all up to you in the moment. I did do one of the hearts in a regular Petri style though, and I dropped some white over the colors. This way I could see how the cloud effect would work with it and the resin as well. Then I spooned some of the white into the Petri style one and continued doing some of the others as well just to make it easier to pour from the cup with less resin in it. Then I did pour the white directly in all of them except the Petri style one. By going over the mold, you can avoid some of the larger blobs happening in the center that you'll see I get from the spoon, but you can also run the risk of larger blobs on the edge where the extra resin may just go into the cavity off the top of the mold anyway. So it's a hit and miss. Most of the time, I don't mind the large blobs. It just adds more character, I think. Then I take a toothpick and make some random swirls in each one except the regular Petri style one. There's kind of a surface blob that moves around with the toothpick, and that's okay. You want that. You want to make sure you leave it there, otherwise you'll be pulling out most of the color. I'm also only sticking the toothpick down just past the surface really. Avoid going to the bottom of the mold or you might just scratch the surface of it and that'll show on your cured resin. Then I let them cure for about 24 hours. One or two of the cavities was overfilled or not level or not the same size or something because the resin kind of spewed out a bit, but that's not a big problem. This resin is still very easy to cut after 24 hours. You can use regular scissors or even some fancy curved ones, which are my favorite to use, and just cut the excess off. Then you can avoid sanding. Just make sure you catch those bits you need to cut off when you're taking them out of the mold, or the resin just continues to get harder and it'll be harder to cut them off. I love how they turned out in this resin. The coral color blended really well with the orange and the yellow, but it was eaten up a bit by the purple most of the time. You can see the backs are dry and just need to be sealed. Yeah, I really like these, and the regular peachy one turned out really nice too. To seal the backs, I will be using JDiction's UV resin. You can use a 2-part epoxy, but usually I never want to wait that long for the pieces to be done, so I just often go for the UV resin. You can leave the resin clear, or you can color it with tints like these, or even add glitter or mica powder. Just remember, keep the resin from being opaque, otherwise you will not be able to cure it properly. I'll be using some small silicone cups, but with little amounts like this, you can even use something like freezer paper to mix your colors on. I've got a scrap piece of mat board here and a little piece of polymer clay that I just keep with my lamp in case I need to make a piece level or just move a piece around by itself easily. And basically with the clay, just put your piece down and push down where you need to make it level. It's pretty simple. I'm going to show you how I did 3 of the backs. The rest are just going to be clear like this first one. I'm not really doming these, so I'm just putting down enough resin that will cover the back nicely and not be too thick. Then I use the small nail polish brush just to spread it to the edges. For these first 2, I'm going to flash cure for 10 to 15 seconds, and that's just so the resin doesn't go moving on me before I fully cure all 3 together. For the next one, I'm going to use a little bit of the chameleon powder, slowly get it mixed in and pour it out, and then spread it out to the edges with the stick as well. For the third one, I'm going to be using the Celestial Sparkler and a little bit of the chameleon powder together. Remember, don't add too much, or even the glitter can stop the resin from curing. You want to make sure light can penetrate through the whole entire thing. I'll use a long lighter to pop bubbles if I need to, and I cure them for about 6 minutes total, and they're finished. You can see how those colors just pop with the resin added, and the 3 I showed you are in the bottom left corner. Now I'm going to add them to the pocket hug cards that I made. I just printed these on cardstock paper and cut them out. I was going to use my Cricut machine, but it did not like the fact that I didn't use white paper, and by that point it was just easier to cut them myself. I've got my mini hot glue gun here, and I'm just going to use a little bit to attach the hearts to the cards. Just add a dab to the card and then press the heart down for a few seconds, and it's done. While I was attaching them, though, I remembered I wanted to round the corners of the cards too. I have a corner punch that makes it quick and easy and precise, and it really would have been better to do it before attaching the hearts to the cards, but it still works in this case after they're attached. And I think it just makes it look more professional and polished. I really do love how these turned out. Let me know what you think in the comments. Definitely try out this new formula of JDiction epoxy resin if you haven't already. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Links and discount codes are always in the description, and I'll see you next time. Bye.